All right. Hi guys. Hi everyone. Uh, it's been quite some time, I guess. A week, about a week now. So yeah, welcome back to. I won't say live analysis because this is just like a recording. But yeah, welcome back. For those who might be wondering, I was actually sick last week. Okay, I was ill, and now I'm feeling better. All right. Well, almost. But yeah, I've recovered to a good extent, and I'm still in the recovery process. But at least now, I'm able to speak. Okay, so moving on, let us look into what we have for the week, in terms of economic events. All right, and then after that, we're going to head to the charts. Okay, so today's Monday. This is our Monday analysis, and let's get down to the charts. First off, we're going to check what we have for this week. Today's Monday. All right, we have Chinese bank holiday, Canadian bank holiday, and the US bank holiday. So very likely the market is going to be crazy slow today. Okay. Um, on Tuesday, there's also Chinese bank holiday. All right. We have the Clement count change on the JVP. I don't think I know what that means. I think they're changing names and stuff, and I don't like that. But anyways, by 2:30, we're going to have Canadian dollar CPI. All right. Um, on Wednesday, well, it seems like the Chinese government is doing holiday all over throughout this week. That's crazy. Well, on Wednesday, we have the cash rate, that's interest rates for the NZD. All right. Watch out for that. Although it's by 2 a.m., so it's in case you're trading the Asian session. All right. It's going to be very big. Um, on by 8 a.m. we have CPI on the JBP. All right, that one is the year over year. Okay, so it's gonna back an impact as well. And then by 8 p.m. we're going to have the funk meeting. All right, on the USD. On Thursday, we have by 1:30 we're going to have the employment change and an employment change. All right, for the AUD, for the Australian dollar. By 2:30, you're going to have unemployment claims on the US dollar. On Friday, we're going to have by 12 a.m. Okay, we're going to have another one on the New Zealand dollar again. Their governor is speaking. All right, I think their central bank governor is speaking. Okay, then by 8 a.m. we have retail sales. 9:30 a.m. we have German manufacturing PMI. Okay, and flash services as well. By 10:30 we have another PMI again and flash PMI for the JBP. 2:30 we have the advanced GDP, okay, the quarter over quarter for the USD, and we also have the PCE price index, okay, for the month over month. Then by 3:45 we're going to have the USD manufacturing PMI and services PMI. Okay, now the ones that I will personally watch out for is number one, we have Canadian dollar CPI. That's going to be by 2:30 on Tuesday. Then 2 a.m., although I'll probably be sleeping and I'll trade the Asian session. But if I'm holding trades with on NZD, I have to watch out for this. I have to be wary of this. I'll probably like place my trades on break even if I have a trade open on any NZD pair by that time. Okay. After that, we have the CPI for the JBP. Very important. We have the Funk meeting by 8 p.m. Okay, on that same Wednesday. So Wednesday is going to be a big day. Okay. Um, then after that, I'm going to focus on the unemployment claims on the USD. All right. I don't really trade the AUD like that. So unemployment claims for the USD. Then focus on this one here. Okay, the governor speaking, the central bank governor speaking by 12 a.m. That is if you're trading the Asian session. All right. So these are the main things, the core things that I'll be looking out for. Okay. Now, this ones here is basically if you're trading stocks or I won't say stocks, but let's just say indices. Okay. If you're trading indices, that's when you should actually be looking towards this stuff. Okay. What it simply means is that forgive me, sorry. Okay, so let's say for those of us who are trading J40, like me, I do like to trade J40, right? I'll be focused on this one here. Okay, this one by 9:30. The German flashing manufacturing PMI and the flash services as well. So this is for J40. Then which other one again? Okay, this one's now is going to be more for the US 30, US 100, US 500. All right, S&P, Nasdaq, and Dow Jones. Okay, so basically that's how this week is going to go. All right. So without further ado, let's get into the charts. Okay. But for today, I'm not going to focus on everything. Okay, I'm going to just focus on these pairs that you guys are seeing here, and this is my watch list. All right, starting with DXY, then we go all the way to J40. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm not going to actually take too much time in doing this analysis. Okay, it's just going to be a speedy something. Today is a new week, so we begin on the weekly time frame. All right, clear out my weekly time frame. So on the weekly time frame, what do we have here? Okay, uh, as of last week, we actually closed bearish and we closed below the range of this particular candle. So very likely we're going to see another bearish candle coming down lower again. All right. So in terms of that, I would believe that this is going to be our drawn liquidity. Price has already shifted to the sell side, because as we can see from here, this low here is actually a key level as well. Okay, and we have that key level on the weekly time frame. We touched it, respected it, went down from there, right? The next candle that came after it was actually a bearish candle, so we might be bearish. Okay, there's a very good chance that we're actually bearish right now. With that in mind, meaning that pairs like the pairs that begin with the USD might actually be heading down, while pairs that has the USD at the end are going to start going up. Okay, so in the light of this, okay, we're going to look for something for a POI that's inside this black candle. Okay, and see if you can send it down to the DOL below. All right, so we have this, change it to blue. Now let's go to the daily. All right, on the daily time frame, what do we get there? Okay, sorry. Well, on the daily time frame, we have a very nice fair value gap here alongside this candle that basically is respecting the fair value gap. Now, what I would love to see here is some sort of sweep around this area. Okay, if you can have that sweep around here, then probably you just jump down to the lower time frames. But perhaps by today or tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, we should see like a sweep around here if possible. Okay, then if that can happen, something like this is not going to be too bad. All right, on the lower time frame, of course. And the 4 hours, we don't actually have much there. We don't have much, but then again, this was a nice sweep around here. It's just that we did not close, we did not break the structure. Okay, as when we had the break of structure, I was like, oh yeah, sure, we're going to sell from here, but we didn't have that. So we have to be watchful for what price is going to play right now. Okay, so this is a key level on the weekly. All right, on the weekly time frame. Then this is the range of the last week's range. Okay, I'm trying to see if you're going to sweep anything here, but so far so good. The price is actually not that clear to me. All I know is that I'm actually looking for a bearish price action. Okay, so I'm waiting for confirmations for that first before leaping into it without any um any kind of idea. So let's go into GU. All right. So what do we see on GU? Well, since expecting DXY to dump, we would expect GU to actually pump. Okay. Now let us look into some factors which could be used for that to play out. Factor number one is that we have a fair value gap around here. Okay. So far so good. The weekly fair value gap is being respected. Last week it was bullish. I mean, but we are still inside the range, so we still have a sort of red flag there, but it's giving us a little bit of an idea that price could actually move into this buy side liquidity here, okay, as our draw on liquidity. So if that's the case, we're going to jump down to the daily time frame. We're going to further refine the weekly fair value gap to this. Even though I don't like this kind of reaction here, it will close below. It's now a low probability setup, right? But still, something can still be done about that. Okay. So, working with what we have currently, I want to check out the lower time frames like the 4 hours and the rest. Okay. So on the 4 hours time frame, what do we get? Well, so far so good. Prices, in fact, personally, as of last week, EU, GU, DXY, in fact, almost anything that has the USD in it has been trash. Okay, has been complete and absolute trash. So I'm not going to hold back on saying that the price action was rubbish. I had a I had a few losses, of course. I'm not going to say that I didn't have any losses. I had also some wins as well. Okay. So it's not as if it was all that bad, but it was rubbish. Okay. So I don't know. Personally, I'm trying to see if we can get into this POI here. Okay. As of the weekly time frame, is telling me okay, we might be bullish. The daily time frame, on the other hand, I don't know if you guys remember, but I was actually bearish a few days ago. We have like this 4 hours fair value gap around here. All right, so we have a sweep, break of structure, and all of that, right? But then the problem is that price did not just give um it just did not give what we needed. It just kept on ranging. We had NFP last week, which was actually uncalled for on a Wednesday for that matter. You know, could have just waited until Friday or something. But anyways, even after that Wednesday, price was still rejecting to move normally. So I don't know what DXY is doing right now. I don't know what EU and GU are doing for like I can't really say for sure. Okay, so this some of these analysis actually could be wrong. Okay, as of that last one, I mean, we should still be in profit if you're still inside the trade, but like by now, swap fees, commission should be trying to eat up part of your accounts, okay, or part of your profits, which to me is actually very bad. And I don't really like that sort of a thing. Let us look deeper into what we have here. Okay, let's forget about this weekly whatever. Like I said, we have rejected the 50% of that weekly range, right? The weekly fair value gap. So let us continue. Let's just continue moving with the former idea that we had before. Okay. So now we have a sweep here. We had a sweep there, right? So a trade from here. I don't actually have any trades around here though, but like what I'm seeing here right now is that we should be dumping. I think we should be dumping. So sweep here, another sweep just here. And I like this sweep though. It's not that bad. So we're about to break the structure to the downside. So shift down to the lower time frame. What you want to see is that we want to see this candle. We want to see this candle here closing below here. All right. This is the kind of price action we want to see around here. Okay, we need to see a POS happening here. Okay, very nice break of structure. So it's going to depend on this particular candle, the next candle after that. Okay, if that does not happen, then there's going to be no setup here. But if that does happen, then it's going to give us a first and second confirmation that we should be heading down on the on GU. And if that actually plays out, then we're still in tune with the former POI that we had there. Okay, which means that we should still be aiming for the low. All right. This is going to be kind of a risky setup because I don't know, the chart is just telling me two things at once. But anyways, I'll just work with what I have right now instead of working with what I'm feeling. Sometimes the high time frames will actually be wrong. Anything can be wrong. There's no guarantee of anything in the market. Well, anyways, this is what I'm seeing on GU right now. Okay, so I'm going to wait until the hourly candle closes and see if that's going to happen. Okay, then for EU, I really don't have much hopes on EU, but I don't like analyzing EU. Let me clean everything up again. So on the weekly time frame, basically the same game plan that we had on GU. Okay, although this here is a crazy bearish pin bar, okay, and we even made a sweep around here, showing that we are actually looking to go bearish, that kind of a thing. But then we need to cross this low here. So if that is supposed to happen, then let us see what we get. Okay. Let's see what we get. So we have a favorable gap here. Price used it invalidated a favorable gap, so it's no longer valid. After that, we got a sweep here on the daily. Now we have a bunch of highs around here, which is going to definitely be liquidity at some point. So price is definitely going to come back here at some point and then clear out all this liquidity that we have there. All right. 4 hours. What do we get there? On the 4 time frame, I don't actually see much. Okay. If you're banking on the buys, then the main buy should actually be around here. Okay. This was actually the candle that closed above, right? Breaking the range. So, well, there's that. If you want to ultra refine the buys, then you have to buy around this block here. So, well, I don't know. It's everything's just a little bit confusing for me right now. Let's look into GJ, please. Let's move away from this confusion. So GJ, the plan is actually here is very simple. Okay, on GJ, I don't think I really need to clear my chart. Okay, we had the sweep breakout structures of last week, right? So go to the daily time frame is going to be even more reinforced on that. Then see here that we have not one but two favorable gaps. Okay, so favorable gap here, favorable gap here. We can get the range, or we can just use the one that is inside the premium price. Okay. Another use for favorable or for OTE right now is that we can actually use this as another block. It's going to be valid to me. It's going to definitely be valid to me if we use this as another block. And it's actually closer to the OTE and it's inside the golden zone. So I feel like I might just go with this, okay? And I'm going to use the other block here as a means to sell. Now, why I'm using this space as my target is very simple. GJ has actually been on a bullish trend, okay? But then the problem is that we barely have seen any retracements. So if you're going to retrace, this is going to be the low of the range, the high of the range. If that's the case, once you pull out your Fibonacci, you see here that this here is the discount price, right? Inside that discount price, we have a favorable gap around here, favorable gap around here. So inside this area is where we're going to react before we see price going back up again, okay, as of the weekly time frame. So if you have the weekly, this is what we get, and this is exactly on the OTE, okay. So if that's on the OTE, it's actually further telling me that okay, this is actually a very, very, very beautiful place for us to buy from. Okay, so meaning that I'm going to buy from around here. On the daily time frame, we have this other block here. Okay, the other blocks closer to the OT as well. I like using POIs that are closer to these three lines here: 0.79, 0.005, and 0.62. Okay, so probably, just probably, we should be having some sort of reversals around here. I want to just go down the chart and check it out and see what we get there. So far we have a sweep. All right, so we have a little sweep around here. We have a breakout structure here. Definitely, this is definitely a breakout structure. um, okay, we don't have anything for that, right? We no favorable gaps. No, not favorable gaps. Let's check the 2 hour time frame. Let's see. So on the 2 hour time frame, okay, this is where things are about to get interesting. We have a favorable gap just here after the breakout structure. All right, so I believe that price could definitely pump from here. It's not that bad. Okay, it's not a bad idea. I mean, we are seeing GU and EU selling currently, right? So it would only make sense for this to actually start going up too. Alongside that, where I'm going to target now is the main thing. Okay, we need to have a target. It's not going to be in our daily order block. All right, this is order block here. Will be daily. So this is my favorable gap, right? On the 2 hours. So we are looking to work with this favorable gap. Now, there's going to be two types of SL here. Okay, the first one is on the candle that's before, sorry, in the first candle, all right, which is going to give you about 32 pips. And if you want to give it some space to breathe, we have a sweep around here, okay? So which is actually a very valid point. This is usually where I would set out my stop loss to be at. So this gives you about 51 pips stop loss, okay? Now, our TP, number one TP is actually going to be at this high, which is going to give you a 1 to 3.5. Um, and our second TP, okay, is actually going to be at this key level here. All right, this key level. So basically, we have a whole story on how price should actually go. Okay, so this is TP1 and TP2 here. So this is 1 is to 3.6, and then this one is a 1 is to 6.4. Okay, not bad at all. Okay, so the 1 is to 6 and a 1 is to 3, whichever one you choose to take, fine with me. All right, I just hope I can upload this video on time so that whoever wants to take this trade can take it. Um, so we have a setup on GJ. Now let's go down to, geez, what is going on? Well, this is a setup that I actually posted on X. All right, let me narrow it down. I'm going to hold this setup. I don't care what happens. So this setup was actually quite simple. Okay, the thing is that Bitcoin is actually going through a phase right now. I don't even understand this yesterday's candle. It's crazy. But yeah, we swept the previous day range, right? And that's actually a very bad thing to see. Well, now on the 4 hour time frame, okay, I think I'm actually have to close this trade. Seems like we're expecting a daily fair value gap. We should be respecting this daily fair value gap. But then the problem here is that sorry, it's not daily fair value gap, 4 hour fair value gap. Yeah. This is one of the things that I don't really like about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is very unhinged. Alright. It's very unpredictable in some ways. So I'm just going to hold my trades. I don't care again. Um what's going on here? Okay. So the reason why I'm taking this trade is simply because on the weekly time frame we have this reaction to these key levels around here. Okay, so it's very likely that price is reacting to this and then it's trying to like push up for a tracement. That's why my POIs are even not that far to me personally. All right, if you look into this now, this is a sweep around here, break of structure. So if you take that into consideration, we would have this as a range. Okay, so my TP is around the mid area, okay, the 0.5, which is actually very okay for a take profit spots. Okay. Any further sales should actually come from POIs above the 0.5 area. So going down to the 4 hours time frame, I was able to see that we had a sweep around here, where the breaker structure, and then we had a breaker. Okay, now this breaker happened in front of a fair value gap, okay, which is why I'm using the breaker. Normally I could be using this whole thing, this other block, okay, but then it seemed a little bit unpractical, okay, given the size of the stop loss. So I decided to just, okay, let me just go for the breaker instead. So you're going for the breaker, we have the stop loss at the low of the breaker, the entry at the top of the breaker, the open of the breaker, right? So this is actually what I'm going with for BTC, okay? And I hope it holds. I really hope it does, because if it doesn't, then well, I'm cooked. I'm risking a whole 1% in this trade. And so far so good. It seems like we are respecting this Beverly gap, I guess. If this is to be the case, then this is a breakout structure which is valid. We have full breakout structure there. This could have been a sell side raid. So basically came here, came up, swept this liquidity here, came back down. So price should be going to this level here, reacting to this low around here, and then pushing down. Okay, so and it feels like that's what's happening right now. Uh, looking into my trades. What a mess. Okay, I'm actually supposed to be in profit, but then I experienced a mission on this trade. That's sad. This is not a good thing to see. Let me check the lower time frames and see. The funny thing is that price was actually going up so fast. Okay, that was kind of unprecedented. I believe that, okay, We are about to close in a very nice way, but seems like I was taken for granted on that. Um, yeah, let me. I've already said break even, just in case. I don't really like what I'm seeing here. This kind of reaction is actually very bad. It's crazy, actually. Well, I've already explained what is going on BTC, so let's keep moving on. I've already taken 25 minutes here. I'm not going to spend so long here. Gold seems to be a little bit I don't know, unhinged too. I mean, we had this weekly order block which we touched and started going up from there, right? But then moving up again, we could refine it to this other block here. And we see that we have a sweep here. Okay, so this here is actually a sweep as well. We see price going up. We have this fairly gap. At first we respected it, but then now we are basically invalidating it or trying to. All right. Zooming in a little bit closer, price is not actually reacting too well from this place. We don't have a break of structure here, okay, but what we do have instead is a sweep. All right, a liquidity sweep. That's dangerous. If you switch down to the 4 hour time frame, you see here that this is the sweep that we had there. Alongside that, we see that what was the okay, this was the low here, right? Yeah. So this is the break of structure, all right, and price seems to be going back up. This is tricky. It's very tricky. Uh-huh. So price went up here. What could I use as another block? Well, I'll use the series of up close candles. They basically engulf every other white candle inside it, right? So this would be an area for the other block at this point. Um, the 2 hour time frame doesn't reveal anything again. The 1 hour, okay, on the 1 hour we can actually see this last um up close candle there, right? So we could use that as a sort of other block there. Alongside that, we do have a little sweep here, so that actually acts as further confirmation for me. So definitely we're reacting to that other block, and if that's the case, means that we came down here, went up, broke structure once again, broke structure here, broke structure here. This is going to also be another block, all right, which price should be reacting to. And if that's the case, then we're definitely going down from here. Ah, sorry guys, I should have done this since morning, like London session. Okay, but sorry I'm late. So if this is the case and we are sweeping here on the daily time frame, there's only two POIs that we can use as a target. Okay, number one is this low here. Number two is this low around here. Okay, whichever one price chooses to use, um, we do have this as our DOL. Okay, um, so if I'm the one selling, okay, let's say I was early, I would have started selling from here. My stop loss is going to be around here. All right, which is going to give us a 1 is to 11. How nice. Then second entry should be around here. This should be this one should be new not New York. This one's going to be Asian session entry. This one's going to be London session entry. So if this is the entry here, then this is going to be the setup. It's going to give us a 1 is to 25. All right. That's crazy. That's only for the first TP. Okay, we still have another one which is going to give you a 1 is to 18 on the first entry and the 1 is to 43 on the second one there. Okay, let's get down to the 30 minutes time frame and see if you have any other stones here that's giving us an idea. Okay, so I'm observing this. I don't know where to place this trend line right now. Usually you have to just do it as a line of best fit. I would believe that is around here also. Okay. So let's just say this is our trend line now. Okay. So meaning that once you break this trend line, price is likely to come back to it, use some sort of confluence and then go down from there. Okay. So let's check it out. Let us just wait and see what gold is going to. Now I'm not in any of these trades, so I can't really tell, can't really say how I'm going to take this trade. Okay. Yeah, I took like what 3 losses on gold on silver so far. That bad. Let's check the weekly. All right, basically gold and silver should be doing the same thing. Okay, or at least plotting to do something that is alike. Okay. But we don't actually see much of that here. In fact, I don't even see it at all. Although it did break with a body, but it's not a clean break. All right. So yeah, on the fall, we do see that same other block there. Okay, price left the other block behind. Currently, what's price doing? Well, they're just selling basically. So I'm going to leave that the way it is. Okay. For SP 500, SP 500, what I'm seeing is this page. Okay. We have a. Let me just start afresh. First, for SP 500, there's a bunch of sweeps here. Okay, we have sweep here, we have sweep here, we have another one here, and the list keeps going on and on. Okay, the most recent one was actually this one around here. Okay, but price is still ranging around here, so basically it's just keeping us inside the loop. I'm thinking of using this as a possible trend line. I don't know if it's going to play out. Yeah, back to the daily. On a daily time frame, what I'm seeing is that we have a break of structure. Okay, but we do have a sweep on the upper side, so my bias is shifting more to the downside. Okay, until proven otherwise, probably by stop loss, I guess. So that was a sweep there, and then we shift down low again. See that the break of structure is actually valid. We not break this structure up here. Okay, but now on the 4 time frame, we do have a break of structure from here. That's one, and then we do have a sweep around here. That's two. Okay, so these two things now is actually giving me a very nice confirmation of confluence around there, and we do have a nice other block here. Okay, series of candles as another block. We do actually have a little bit of a confluence as a key level around that place also. So I think I will be using that place as a way of selling. Okay, so my expectation is that we're going to sell from around here and go down. Okay, likely to this low here. This is going to be my drawn liquidity. All right, so this here is going to be my drawn liquidity. Shift down to the 1 hour time frame, and what do we get now? This is where I am going to start counter trading. It's risky, but I'll do it. This is a sweep, this is a break of structure, and this is a favorable gap, and all of that gives me what? A very nice entry just here. Now we are 1 hour away, well, let's just say 40 minutes at this point from the New York Stock Exchange open, so it's going to be tricky. But if you are right about this, then this is going to be a 12-hour here on SP 500. Okay, I like the setup. It's looking very nice, looking very clean. Okay, so I think I'm definitely going to go along with this trade. Hopefully, I can get both the buy and the sell as well. So I'm going to go along with this. I've already set my limit there. Okay, so on the Nasdaq, okay, basically it's the same game plan on Nasdaq. All right, we see here that on the 4 hour there's going to be that same sweep. Okay, that same structure there. This is why I like trading both Nasdaq and SP 500. Okay, it's basically the same thing. So this is what I'm going to work with. We are trying to go around here. All right, on the daily, or sorry, on the 1 hour rather, we have a sweep, we have a break of structure around here. All right, this here is going to be our entry points. This is our stop level, and then we're going to take it all the way up here. Okay, 1 to 13. So basically, both Nasdaq and SP 500 are basically showing the same thing. But I think I would rather go with SP 500. My reason is that SP 500 is slower than Nasdaq, meaning that we might actually get the entry that we need here before this one here. This one might actually sweep us away. Okay, so it's just a way of, like, taking it into precaution there. Well, J40, I don't have anything to say about this guy. It's just disgusting price action all through. US 30, well, on US 30, do I have anything clean? No, not really. But yeah, this is all for today. And I'll see you guys again on Wednesday, likely in the live analysis this time around. Goodbye. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Thank you very much for coming.